Hello there. I think this should be live now. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going live. Let me just go to the control room and check to see if it is working. It's a little bit, I've had a bit of a technical problem this morning, but I think we're in, and I think we're up, and I think it should be working. So if it is working, sorry about the 1 minute of me. Fantastic, we're live. Thank you, Crown Jewels. That is really good to know, because a minute ago I was watching a tutorial on how to go live. Brilliant, thank you. Right, hello from Alaska. I'll just quickly show you where I am, just to give you a little bit of an insight into where I'm recording this from, because at the moment you can just see behind me and see just a bit of a white building. So, right, I'm recording this on my laptop, so hopefully the Wi-Fi will stay. So, this is a lovely garden. Massive garden, actually. It's brilliant, and the sky's a little bit smoky at the moment, and it's all from the forest fires that are happening fairly close by, relatively. Massive forest fires have caused the sky to be a little bit smoky, but Alaska's been getting some really beautiful weather, some record high temperatures, so I thought I'd do this outside rather than sitting inside. Yeah, I am in the town of North Pole, which is brilliant. I think this will be the only live stream I'll ever do from the North Pole. I'm just going to plug myself in. I'm staying with a wonderful couple, which I think you will meet very shortly, called Larry and Lisa. Larry actually has been watching me on YouTube for a number of weeks and happened to see that I was coming through Fairbanks, and we got in touch, and really kindly they've offered to host me and to allow me to just rest up after the last month of cycling in Alaska, and they've given me a real Alaskan experience. I've been able to try a good amount of barbecued fish and like salmon and other fish. It's amazing, and just really meet their family. Yesterday I went to a church with them, which was a really good experience for me to see the way things are done differently over here in Alaska. And yeah, that's pretty much what it's been like for the last few days. So hopefully I'll get another video edited. It's been so much stuff's been happening that I've not had all that much time, to be honest, but I've got a lot of footage to go through and edit, so I'm very much looking forward to doing that. So with this live stream, I'm hoping to go through a few things, just really tell you about how the last month's gone, and after that, going through what this last month's been like, I'll talk through what I'm looking to do over the next few weeks, and then I'm going to keep coming over here to the chat area and have a good old chat to see where you guys are. So I'm just going to check in now to the chat and see where you are. So yeah, thank you, Crown Jewels, for saying that. And my mother is in the live stream, so if anyone wants to say hello to my mum, you can say hello. She's over in England. It'll be evening in England. It's morning here. It's 10 a.m. The start of a beautiful day. And yeah, North Pole, where I am at the moment, is near Fairbanks. So Cassie Abrahams, that's where I am really. And hello there to anybody that is here that in the last few days has come across me from the YouTube channel Girl in the Woods, from Brooke Whipple's channel. I've had the most amazing influx of a different audience, people that probably don't normally watch people cycling around the world. So I appreciate so much that you guys have seen me there, and I'll come on to how all that happened very soon. But thank you all for coming across, because I imagine there might be a couple of you there. And I've seen here someone, just me, 1972, seen you on the Girl in the Woods channel, been watching your videos for 2 days now, which is brilliant. Hello, Richard Miller, nice to see you again, mate, and very lovely to see you. And right, I'm going to pop down into just a little bit. I've got like a 1 page. I don't really plan these in full detail. I have a couple of bullet points in my notebook, things that I want to talk about. I'm just going to talk about how things have gone over the last few weeks. I do appreciate that people that watch my actual videos, as in the videos I edit, as opposed to these live videos, you'll be pretty used to me being in Japan. It can be a little bit confusing going from Japan to Alaska and swapping over, but I hope you understand that making those videos takes a bit of time with the amount of editing that I'm doing, and to be honest, I found a really good balance of being able to cycle as much as I cycle, and then still being able to do that, which for me is a really important thing. Still being able to be creative, tell a story that's interesting and informative, hopefully. And yeah, so the Japan videos at the moment. So I was in Japan about a month ago now, just under three and a half weeks, and so I'm still editing them, and they will come out. I've got probably about 2 Japan videos left. Really good time in Japan, really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to making them, and I don't want to rush them out to get to this stuff where I'm really excited also to get to, which is my Alaska stuff. So yeah, once I got to Alaska, you saw in my last live stream, if anybody saw that, me being hosted by another wonderful couple in Anchorage, which that's where I last really left everybody in the live world that I present and show to everybody. From there, I cycled north towards Denali National Park, and I think what I can do on this screen is I'm going to try and show you a map. If this doesn't work, I apologize in advance. So there you're seeing how my live stuff works. Let me go into here. Here's a map. Hopefully you can see this and you can see my screen. Right, Anchorage is here, right at the bottom of Alaska, and we're going to start there. And I cycled up towards here, towards this area. 200 miles, beautiful cycling. As you can see, even from this little elevation data, a bit of downhill, but it's not really accurate. It's more up, down, up, down. This here is the Denali National Park and Preserve. So this is a really beautiful stretch where you can see Denali, which is just here. Denali is the largest mountain in North America. I'll keep it on here for now. Denali is the largest mountain in North America, and yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. And I continued up towards this area here, which I stayed in a hostel. Let me go back to me recording. Cool. So that's a little bit of a map. Oh, I'm not seeing my screen, dude. That's a shame. No problem, okay. Well, basically I went from Anchorage up to Denali State Park, so if that didn't work, at least I had a little try with something different. Yeah, so up to there, and then from there I managed to find 2 people that were going all the way to the most northern point in Alaska. Oh, here we go. Do you want to say hello to Larry?
Oh yeah, I could say hi.
Right. I have a super assistant for a second there. Here's Larry. Larry has really wonderfully allowed me to stay in his home with meet his family, and he's been amazing. And Larry is joined by his wonderful wife, Lisa.
Hello, I'm videoing you.
Larry also makes videos as well. So yeah, that's wonderful.
Hi, Adam's dad, his mom. We're taking care of him. I know mom's watching.
Yeah, so what I've got here we go. Old school technology. There we go. Here's a map. Anchorage down in the bottom. I've cycled up and I've come, well, let me do this right, up to the middle, up to this point here. There we go. If in doubt, go revisionary. So from there, I managed to meet this wonderful couple that were heading all the way up to the top of the Arctic Circle. Well, actually, initially just the Arctic Circle, which when I heard the fact they were going there, I got a little bit excited and was like, "Oh, sweet! Can I join you? Can I go right up to the top?" And they were like, "Sure, why not?" Now, the distance they were going was about 1,000 miles from where that point was there, right up to the top. So 1,000 miles, effectively a hitchhike. Spontaneously, I had about 7 minutes to prepare, to get ready and go. It was literally bags in a vehicle and go. I had a number of plans before this of how I'm going to get to the top of the world. I had plans to go up through Canada to the most northern point there. But I always also had in my mind, if an opportunity comes and I can get to the top and start my America's journey, I'll take it. So yeah, I took that opportunity, got myself up there. We drove from 3 p.m. and got there at 7 a.m. the next day, overnight, which is an epic drive. It was, yeah, Nicole and Christophe were the people that took me up there. Amazing people. And we had a wonderful night. And seeing it in a car with a preview is the first time I've driven a route for hours. and then cycled it. It's a completely different experience to kind of then return, spin around, and go back on yourself, knowing how long you've got in the wild, in the wilderness, in the remoteness, which is the Dalton Highway. The Dalton Highway is pretty famous amongst Alaskans and people around the world, and knowing it's the most northern point you can drive to in North America. The road only exists to fuel a oil pipeline. That's all it was built for. Originally, back in the day, I'm talking 100 years ago era, there were people panning for gold and coming up to this area in the search for riches. When the black gold was found, that road was very much eventually built in the 70s. And yeah, they built a massive pipeline which runs all the way from the top to bottom. So that allows people like myself, which only, I think, not that long it's been since that road's been public, in maybe 20, 30 years. So yeah, it allows me to go to this most northern point and see a unique area, see unique geology and geography. And getting up there was, like I said, a mission. But as soon as I got there, you get to the most northern point, but you want to see the sea. So yeah, so you want to see the sea, and you want to see what is happening there. You can't get to the sea without paying, which is something I had heard before I went there, but I wanted to test it out and see what it was actually like. But that place, the largest oil field in North America, is ginormous. It's like for me, it was like being back in a big old military base. Oil tankers, huge vehicles, slushy, muddy ground everywhere. Pretty horrible. Hotels costing, the cheapest will be like $200 a night. So after cycling all that, or driving all the way up there, the first thing I would do is get in my tent and get some sleep. And yeah, it was cold, wet, rainy, and a miserable start to starting that journey. But yeah, cycling down from there over the last 10 days it took me in the end was epic. Was everything I dreamed of and everything I wanted. I cannot wait to eventually go back into the footage and show you. I think it'll probably take about a month before I get to that. I'm about a month behind, maybe about at the moment about 6 weeks, I think. So hopefully, yeah, I'm not going to rush that footage out just because it's good and it's worth the wait. And in the long run, I'm just really looking forward to showing you what I saw, which is really unique. Hello there, Linda Wallace, and as you can see there, pedal pushing Alaska in the live chat. That's Larry, who was just here a second ago. Must be seeing it inside there, which is, yeah. So hey Larry, and hello to my mum and dad, he says. So Linda Wallace found me a girl in the woods and sub to me. Cool journey, dude. Thank you. Right, so from there, I'm gonna not go into full detail of everything that happened there because that would be spoiling it for everybody there. But I do it successfully. Cycle the Dalton Highway. It was for me. I was disconnected from the internet for 10 days. I didn't tell my mum or dad I was going up there, so they didn't really expect to not hear from me for that long. I said I was going to go into Denali National Park, and that was the plan up until that 7 minutes before I hitched a ride. So yeah, for me, getting up to the Dalton Highway, I wasn't fully prepared, other than the fact I was able to stop and get some food. And getting food was like, right, how much food do I need for 14 days? 5 packs of pasta, load of tuna, tortilla wraps, 2 tubs of peanut butter, off you go. And it worked. I got all the way to the end. I was very much cooking all my food by the end. I'd eaten all the good stuff that you can eat without cooking. By the end, eating peanut butter raw out the jar. And it was, yeah. And on that journey, I think I've tried to work out how many people I probably stopped and talked to. It's about 10 people in 10 days, I think. Roundabout. It's about a person a day. And sometimes you might meet a couple of people in a car. But I say it's remote. There are a number of tourists going up to the Arctic Circle. You want to come to Alaska and see the Arctic Circle. And there's a number of people coming to see wildlife and to go into the mountains. So yeah, my mum is again in the live chat here saying she was glad there was no bears around. And to be honest, that's something that I didn't see any bears. It's one thing that I will hopefully see at some point, but I'm glad there wasn't any when I was sleeping. which is really good. And hello, Rebecca Thomas. You also found me from Girl in the Woods. So I'm going to cut right to the end of the 10 days and not spoil everything that's happened there and save that for a later date. But meeting Brooke, and I just want to say a thank you to her first, and say a thank you to her audience, which have happened to stumble across me. She I was 20 miles away from finishing, finishing this big epic journey from down the Dalton Highway, which I've been dreaming about doing for years. It's been something I've wanted to do and start, and I felt if I could do that, I can do this journey. It would be what would absolutely allow me the confidence and knowing if I can do this big remote bit, I can do anything. So I'm in this really positive mindset, cycling along, and I see somebody with a camera. Shouts over to me, hello, and as they shout over, I'm like, I only speak to 10 people in 10 days. I hadn't spoken to somebody maybe by that point for about 24 hours, maybe since I was at the Yukon River, which is the biggest river that runs through Alaska. Massive river. And maybe the 100, 200 miles from there, I hadn't really spoken to anybody. So when I saw her, very keen just to say hello to someone willing to talk to you, and she had a camera, and I'm making videos, as you can see right now, so I'm very used to that. It was a bit weird being on the other side of it, being somebody recording as opposed to me recording. Yeah, so I went and said hello to her, and we had a brilliant chat, and she made this video which went onto her channel, Girl in the Woods, and that is where yesterday I went from having a level of subscribers like 3,600 to 4,600 in one day. That's never happened before, and that really is a positive thing for me to have got a new set of eyes that can hopefully be inspired and shown the world in a different light. That's really my aim with these videos, is to give people an insight into the world that I see and show it as raw as I can and make it entertaining and inspire people that if you want to do something, you can do it. And that's one of the themes I think of my videos, is just saying yes to opportunity. If I talk back to getting that lift up to Prudhoe Bay, it was absolutely me taking an opportunity, seeing somebody saying I'm going north. My plan wasn't to go north that day, it was to work it out later. But being able to say yes, creating the space and time to say yes to opportunities that can come up, and not being like, no, this is my plan, I don't say. So that's something that I hope people have got there, and I can pass on that message to you guys, is saying yes to opportunities, to saying yes to more things, and just being able to create that space and time. When I went to church yesterday, they talked about time and how important that time is, and it's something that really resonates with me. It's something that church is our only finite resource, something that we often take for granted and people waste and don't think about it. So yeah, for me, being able to spend your time intentionally doing things that you find value from and want to do, or brings value to other people, that's for me a life. And if you're doing things that isn't a good use of your time and doesn't add value to yourself and others, it's maybe just try and reflect on that. And yeah, anyway, getting a little bit deep there. Just say, going back to the live chat and say hello to a couple of people that have said hello in there. RD Paulie, also Family and Girl of the Woods channel, so brilliant, welcome along. Awesome journey you're on. You're in Idaho, Utah, I'm guessing, US? Idaho, US. I might be pronouncing that wrong. My English Yorkshire. So yeah, welcome along, buddy. Macro Daddy 25. Hello, Adam. I'm a new fan. Saw me and Girl of the Woods. So here we go. I'm really glad I've got you guys ahead, and you're seeing a slightly different world as I go through here. Hooked now. Cool. And been binging on my videos since the 5th. So yeah, I saw Brooke on the 4th of July, and I think she made the video public on the 5th. So yeah, and also another thing I wanted to just thank people for is I have a place and a way for people to support me and to get extra content in addition to this, called Patreon. I got 5 or 6 new patrons as a result of people from Brooke's channel meeting me. My Patreon is patreon.com/Adam Hugill. There's links to it all in my channel if you go into the home page. and there should be a link in the description of this video as well. So yeah, those people will get exclusive content, and they'll be able to. I'm currently in the North Pole, so if you sign up for the top tier, you get a postcard handwritten from me from the North Pole. Where if you sign up today, but if you sign up later, you'll get it from wherever I happen to be. And yeah, I really enjoy that. And you'll also be able to talk to me one-on-one live, just over the webcam. So for me to thank you, and for you to ask me anything you want to, if you need any help or assistance with a journey yourself. So yeah, that's something that makes this journey possible for me. One of the biggest questions people ask me, just have a drink. One of the biggest questions people ask me is, how do you fund this? How do you fund it? First thing people ask. And I funded it initially through my savings, and I still am, predominantly, to be honest. But they won't last forever. And I want to show the world and have this creative process where I effectively can turn being a creator into a full-time job. And the thing is, for me, I just don't have to. I can't spend much because I'm not earning a lot. So through Patreon, people that support me there and get these extra things that I'm offering really makes a massive difference to this journey. I make, and I think it's public on Patreon, I make $200 a month there. I aim to spend no more than $300 a month, which can be difficult when you take your bike on the Dalton Highway and you absolutely destroy that back wheel, which costs a new replacement if it was $100. So yeah, the bike takes a beating sometimes, but yeah, I camp most days, or get really lucky and manage to stay with wonderful people like Larry and Lisa, and that gives me that home feeling of being able to settle for a little bit and just stroke their pet dog and sit on a sofa, which when you're living in a tent you don't do very often. So I do appreciate the generosity of people I meet. So yeah, I fund it through the Patreon and a little bit through my savings. And that's the plan, all the way down to Argentina. And then from there, hopefully Africa and beyond. That's like the bigger plan. So yeah, let me go back into the chat and say hello to a couple of other people that have said hello. Scott Sharrick, alright mate, how's it going? Scott, wonderful guy. Check out Scott's videos if anyone's in the chat. Scott is a really good friend. I haven't spoken to you for a while, Scott. Apologies for not getting back to your message. Last time Scott messaged me, he told me about eggs in America. I didn't reply to you, I'm afraid. I just forgot. He said you have to refrigerate eggs. Now, I'm a bit of a risk taker, so I don't have a refrigerator with me and just put my eggs in my bag. I'm okay with that risk, but Scott very wisely told me that I shouldn't be doing that. Also, the family I'm with, this might be interesting to talk about later. I don't know if you will find it interesting or not. Told me that I can't put my mayonnaise in my bag. It needs to be in the fridge. Well, that's not how I do it. And I'm alright, but I didn't know. I just thought you'd be alright. And in England, I'm pretty sure we just have mayonnaise in the table. Sure, some people put it in the fridge, but if you go to a fish and chip shop, you'll have to get mayonnaise to squeeze. So I don't know. I just go with it. Add mayonnaise to my tortilla wraps. So yeah, Scott, thank you for that. And Scott's currently in India. I saw some wonderful photographs he took of the Taj Mahal and that area. Mate, you're having an adventure. Scott is also cycling around the world. So welcome along, Scott. I'll say go back into the chat. Who we got that? I don't know what this is in relation to with Linda Wallace, but smack that. That's the most British way I've probably ever said that, and that's definitely not how you probably would have thought it and wrote it in your head. I hope that's in relation to everything going well. Yeah, cool. Ian King, I'm glad you're not rushing out the videos. I'm very much looking forward to the Japan episodes. Good. I'm glad you're not putting yourself under pressure and you're having fun. Yeah, I think for me, Ian, it's a balance. I love making the videos. It's never a chore for me, and the moment it becomes a chore, I need to readdress that. And maybe when I first started making the videos, I did put myself under some pressure. Sometimes I might have been making 2 or 3 videos a week. For me personally, that was too many, and it meant like I tried to open my laptop and edit no more than once a week. And these live videos are kind of like an in-between, because it's not much work other than this and a little bit of prep, but compared to editing a video, that'll take me between 6 and 12 hours. yeah, I do enjoy that creative process, and I don't want to rush it either. Me going back, I've forgotten what I've filmed, so I'm revisiting it, seeing all these memories that I've got, and like triggers things in my head. So I love that part of it, and I love trying to find a story, and it's often me being ruthless about cutting, if I'm being honest, where often many people would leave bits in that I'm like, I think that's just boring. I'm not sure. But yeah, for me, just trying to tell that story, but without it being like fake. I hope that comes across well. But yeah, having fun, mate, and just enjoying doing this. Yeah. Okay, Roger Anderson. Greetings from northeast Texas. I'm from the northeast of England, so I've got something in common with you. I think Texas is probably bigger than England. Just have a drink. I saw you the other day on Becky's blog. I think it might be Brooks, or I'm not sure yet. But so following you on your adventures now. Brilliant. Nice to have you along. KB8SKV Charles. Hello, Adam from Michigan. A lot of these states, my geography of the states isn't amazing, so I can't picture where Michigan is on a map. Where is it? East? West? Center? North? I think Michigan, I'm guessing, is near the lakes. Guessing? I hope so. I hope I'm right there. Welcome. Linda Ennis, found me Tennessee, USA. I'm guessing that's in the southeast Tennessee. Bit of USA knowledge. Welcome along. Mike Wild, South Yorkshire. Welcome along, mate. Yeah, we'll definitely have a cheers for Yorkshire. I do miss a bit of Yorkshire people and Yorkshire accents sometimes, but it's good to have you along here. Big Simon Richardson, he's a good mate of mine, who I hope it's that same Simon. If not, and hello to another. Oh, it is. He said hello to Scott. Si knows Scott. Welcome, Big Si. He's also a bike tourer from Yorkshire. Where are we at? My comments just jumped then, so I missed that. Hey, Scott. Linda Ennis, looking forward to your vids. Keep up the good work. Julie Lovegrove, you've been watching and following along for a while now. Thank you for coming along and watching this. Hi, Adam. Making a lovely job of your live chat. Yeah, after the little error at the beginning with me watching a tutorial video. Not the best start, but hopefully I'm making up for it now. Cycle Our World. Currently in Sweden, just about to set up the tent. Lucky I saw you and streaming. Oh, right. I will have a look at your channel shortly after this. I'm not sure if we've spoken before, but that's a brilliant name, Cycle Our World. I think we have spoken before. And in Switzerland. I wonder what I bet it's beautiful there at the moment. Good weather, I hope. And hopefully not too many climbs. I bet there are, though. Brilliant. My mum says hello to Santa in the house. I have seen Santa's house. It seems pretty warm here at the moment. His workers are working hard. Up in the North Pole, where I am at the moment. Glenn the plumber found me through Girl in the Woods from Texas. Welcome along. Richard speaking to my mum. Santa's base is top secret. Lol. Cassie Abram, do a collaboration with Girl in the Woods, please, Adam. I don't think I'm going to see her again, I'm afraid, because where Brooke lives, and where I am, and where I'm heading, because I'm like on a journey. Whereas, yeah, I would love to, because you won't see this and know this, but after that chat, it was very spontaneous, and if anyone goes to Girl in the Woods channel and sees that video, yeah, it's very spontaneous. But when she put the camera down, we continued talking for maybe 2 hours, 3 hours after that, about everything, life and all sorts. So it was, yeah, really, really good to meet somebody that has a similar mindset to myself and similar values in life. Would love to do a collaboration, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it because I'm heading towards Canada soon. Alex Hofvander, he's a patron. Welcome along, Alex. Thank you for coming along. I found you via Matt Galat. He's Jayo, if anyone knows him. He rides a recumbent trike, which, do you know what? I will show you a recumbent trike very shortly if you've never seen one. When you found me through when he tried to find my drone in Thailand. I lost a drone in the Cambodian jungle, for anyone that didn't know. He's also a brilliant cycling YouTuber. Yeah, really good guy. I think he's currently in the States at the moment. Is our Matt, so he might not be here. Sometimes he pops into the chat for these lives. Richard Miller, do I need to build you a good rear wheel? Shall I show you my bike? Right. Excuse me, I'm going to pull you along. Larry, could I turn the lights on in here? Larry, Lisa, could I turn the lights on in the garage? Please. Thank you. Right, I'm going to show you. So look, maybe a little bit dark at the second. My bike, and actually, firstly, I'm going to show you
A real bike.
real bike. Wow.
Should I open the garage door?
Yeah, that's all right. We might get a good bit of light. Let there be light. So at the moment, just opening the garage door, get a little bit of light in there. I'm going to show you these recumbent trikes. Okay, they've got 3 trikes here right now. 4. Yeah, brilliant. I'll let Larry talk about them because Larry knows a lot more about his trikes than I do, so I'm not even going to pretend to talk about it.
We're trying to upgrade Adam to a real comfortable experience here.
It is comfortable. I won't
Very
lie.
comfortable. Yeah, you don't fall over. Old people can't sleep. But yeah, recumbent trike. Jayo, if you're showing up, you know what it's all about. But they're just highly comfortable. It's the new way to do it.
So but a lot of people just won't have come across them. I hadn't ever. I've seen them on the internet and that's it. So a lot of the questions people will have is like, how do you climb hills and how do you steer and stuff like that. So should we get the trike out and have a little whirl in it?
Let me throw some
I'm
shoes
going to be doing
on.
it carrying this laptop, currently barefoot. So put some shoes on. We'll show you these trikes. Before that, I'll go over to my bike. So Richard Miller talked about this rear wheel. I've got a fully brand new rear wheel on here. My old wheel, I'll show you that because that might be interesting for you to see the state of where it got to. Old wheel, don't know if you can see that, but shouldn't be making noises. Broken spokes galore. Oh, this wheel, however, I've got fond memories of this wheel. I paid $5 for somebody to give me the wheel and build it in Luoping, China. The wonderful guy that did that. It got me 8,000 kilometers, so 5,000 odd miles. So I've now paid $100 for this new, really super built wheel. I did get it built, and hopefully it'll be okay. But it's brand new, so yeah, super strong, really thick wheel. I've got new tyres for the first time in about 7,000 miles. Some just specialised ones. It's all the ones I had. My tyres. There we go. My tyres started to go a bit bald, and I've got little bald patches on there. So right, let's go back to the trikes. Because that's more interesting than my bald tyres. And then I'll come back to the chat in a second.
So you want me to ride it, or?
Do you know what? Do you want to jump in it? And
okay.
Yeah, and we'll see how it rides and how it works. Is that looking all right?
It is working. Yeah.
Cool. There we go. So, comfortable?
Oh yeah.
And how do you steer with this? It doesn't have a...
The steering's just...
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
And, yeah, let's see it in action. Let's go for it.
A little bit of a ride.
Look at that.
No hands.
So that's probably one of the good points for that. Well, I'll do it this way. One of the good points that Matt from Jayo, who has a recumbent trike, he's probably the most well known.
Yeah, I think so.
Most well known, popular YouTube dude that cycles around on one of these. But I've discovered some wonderful people that also like doing it. So how far can you go a day on one of these, Lisa?
Same as what you would do.
Yeah.
Till you're tired.
Yeah.
Until you're tired. And I suppose you don't get a sore bottom like I do sometimes. Is it harder on your knees than you reckon on a bicycle?
Yeah, I think it's a different muscle group. It's a different muscle group you're using.
Right.
So it's more about technique than anything else.
And gearing, climbing up hills.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it's about the same or more difficult?
I think it's a little more difficult. But the other thing is that I can go as slow. Well, I can do this.
Yeah.
So you don't have to stand up. You don't have to do some of those things. So if I get tired on a hill, I just stop and hold the brakes.
It is wonderful. We went for a 30-minute tricycle.
Yeah.
Even for a 30-minute trike ride down on these roads. In America as well, in Alaska, this area, there's usually a little cycle lane, or if at least that, there'll be a wide shoulder, like a berm, for people to cycle in. So, and these are wonderful, these big flags, because that's one thing that I'd worry about if you didn't have them, would be just being low, because everyone in the States has massive vehicles that are super huge. But yeah, it's wonderful. It's cool. And I like the little, it's like the same as my box here that you've got for your camera and everything else.
He's thinking about it. He doesn't want to tell you that.
Yeah, maybe not today, but yeah, it's brilliant. Right, I'm going to go back in there and I'll continue to answer some of these chats. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of insight there. And I'll come back in here. Oh, it's one thing else I'm cycling with, which a lot of you will like and appreciate, I've already seen. My dusty American USA flag. It's a bit dusty after the Brooks mountain range, which is one of the mountains I went through. But yeah, I like to fly the flag of the country I'm in. I feel that I'm like a ship passing through the night. I'm just going to plug you in. How long have I been on this chat? For about 30 minutes. Cool. Let's go into the comments and see. Richard Miller, how do I need to build me a good rear wheel? I think I should be alright then, mate. That's what I hope. And hello from Romania, from David Popescu. Welcome along, buddy. Richard Miller, how many places in Southeast Asia refrigerate eggs or mayo? Very good question. I think what it is, my knowledge on eggs, is somebody probably got ill and died or something like that from salmonella poisoning. So the US Department of Agriculture, is it? I'm guessing, said you need to refrigerate all eggs, which is very good advice and it's very safe. But why would you take that advice back and not say that? In the UK, I think all our chickens are vaccinated against that, so we don't really need to refrigerate eggs. And I don't know if that's the case here. But yeah, I get it. It's not going to do any harm to refrigerate them, but I've been eating unrefrigerated eggs and they've done alright. So yeah, maybe my stomach's just had too much Cambodian food and I can deal with it. Hi Miles Colbert, nice to meet you, buddy. I've seen you been here a couple of times before, a few times. Nice to have you along. Sally Spilka, Girl in the Woods sent me, my neighbour, and I haven't got the pleasure to meet yet. Cheering you on, my dear man. If you make it into northern Michigan, you're welcome to stay here. This is what I love about doing these lives and being able to speak to you guys, my audience. I'm seeing here I've got 58 people watching, so I'm trying to think. Imagine being in a room with 60 people watching me talk about what I'm talking about. So brilliant. Thank you so much for that. That's really appreciated. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be going through that way or not. I'm not sure at the moment. Oh, my comments just jumped, so I just lost where I was. That's annoying. It sometimes does that, just jumps up like that. Lucian Dutu, yes, again Romania here. That's 2 Romanians, fantastic. Hello, nice to see you. You're safe and well. I met 2 Moldovans and 2 Romanians on my first ever day of cycling out of Alaska. They invited me to a barbecue with moose steaks and the biggest shrimp I've ever seen, and we shared beers, and there was a golden eagle up in the trees. I think a bald eagle. I think it's the same thing. And so yeah, very much love for Romania. I'd love to cycle in Romania one day. So I've been there a couple of times. I worked with the Romanian army for a bit and worked in Galat on that border with the Ukraine, and love the place. Absolutely love the place. It's got the Transylvanian mountains, the Caspian Sea. One day, but not anytime soon, will I be going to Romania. Dad said to check for off eggs, place in a pan of water. If it floats, it's bad. If it sinks, it's fine. It's just like my tyre tube. I'm checking for punctures. Put my eggs in at the same time. Like that. Rory, my good old mate from school. Looking forward to the Alaska vids, mate. Keep up the good work. Yeah, looking forward to them. But also, there's some good stuff coming from Japan. So, I hope. But yeah, cheers, buddy. Nice to have you along. Ian King, I think you're striking the balance right. I think you mean in relation to video creating and producing. Nice one. From knowing other YouTubers, too many videos can take a lot of fun out. So good blend, videos, live streams, and the podcast. There's a really good point. I have recorded, and I record an audio diary daily, and I've got about 2 weeks worth of audio recordings I need to do a little bit of editing with. I might make one mega 45-minute, 50-minute, the Dalton Highway. I might break it into 2 parts. I don't know how long it will be, of all my audio diaries of cycling down the Dalton Highway, as opposed to doing each individual episode for a day. I think that's a good idea. Cool. I'm just going to experiment with that. And that the podcast, which is called Bike Tour Diary, if you have a podcast player, the aim for that for me is to give people an opportunity to discover me in a different way, to be creative in a different way, try and tell stories just audio, which is really hard compared to just showing you a video. And also to hold myself to account, to have a journal. I don't write a journal. I don't feel I have the patience and time, but I do want a journal to have a record, and I lose a lot of detail in the videos because I cut a lot and I don't video everything, but it's my thoughts and feelings and little things that I want to record. So by the end of the year, 2 years, 3 years, I hope to have this long record, and you'll be able to see the progress, and I can see the progress and things like good, bad moments and so on. So cool. Jack, the Basin G. If you ever come through Minnesota, you have a place with us, a wonderful offer, Jack. Thank you. Again, I just love America so far. It's so good. Richard Miller, Eastern, just below Canada. Yeah, the Great Lakes area. I was thinking that's one of the states I mentioned earlier. Miles Coburn, Fairbanks, Alaska. You're here. You did message and mentioned, I think, about being able to stay at a campsite in Fairbanks. I'm in the North Pole, down the road, so probably will be going to Fairbanks again to do some shopping and stuff, and hopefully if our paths cross I can say hi. That's crazy, we're so close. Sally Speaker, open a super chat and it'll help you a lot for donations. I don't know how to do that. That's super chat. There we go. I'm a very much a novice to this, so I don't know if that's going to work. Yeah, super chats. I've seen other YouTubers do that before, actually. So yeah, hopefully, I don't know how to do it. But if you can't do that, maybe going over to my
actually.
Oh, that's me
so
talking. I've messed that up. Yeah, not sure how to do it. Open super chats. But yeah, enable live chat. I don't know how to do it, I'm afraid. I'm rubbish at this live stuff. I'll get better though. It comes with time. But thank you for the advice. Let me look at these comments. There's a few other people there. West Virginia. All I know is that's the song West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains. You like that? Richard Miller, Matt's in New York or DC this week. Yeah, so cycling the world, I'm in the Alps. Lots of thunderstorms. Ooh, the long descents have also ruined my bike like the Dalton Highway to yours. I've heard there's a lot of gravel roads actually in Switzerland. I'll give you a shout on Instagram. Cheers guys, that was brilliant. Julie Lovegrove, great to see fellow recumbent riders. We've ridden our recumbent two-wheelers for thousands of miles. Brilliant. It's wonderful seeing that there's no right way and there's no wrong way to do this. It's all about finding your way. And you know what? I could see myself getting into them recumbents. They're so comfy. Roger Anderson, Michigan is shaped like a mitten, surrounded by the Great Lakes. Okay, cool. And it's Becky, much peace and love. If you bike down through the south, give me a shout, and we have a bed for you. Thank you. That was the $5 Chinese wheel. It's done fine for that price. Yeah, Richard, for that wheel, it's done the job. I just think I got the most out of it. That dude will never have imagined what I've done with that wheel. When he was giving it, probably thought it'd just go to some young kid in the middle of the street. So yeah, instead it got driven halfway around Asia and back into America. Susan Warwick, so happy I found you through Brooke. Yes, I think she and Dave are kindred spirits. Hello from Michigan. Oh, it's jumped again, my little super chat. It does that. Super annoying when it does that. Richard Miller, Adam, if you get a recumbent trike, you'll never want to go back to two wheels long. The one thing that I do just like about my two-wheel bike, and I might be wrong here, I just think on the dirt roads and some of the more remote roads, it's probably a bit easier than me on a normal bike. Because yeah, I think it'll tip them better. Tip the dirty dirt roads and the gravel roads. I'm not saying you can't do it on them. I'm sure you could, but for me, where I want to be, going through like the Andes and in the future, and getting like I said, down the Dalton Highway, gives me the chance to say yes to more adventurous terrain, which is something I enjoy. So I think that's where I sit with my bike being right for me. Let's have a look. A couple more comments. Tahir Patan, welcome along, buddy. Keep it up, dude. Alex Hofvander, trikes are the real deal. My world tour will be on one of those. YouTube and Insta. Insta for now, then building it is being done. Yeah, I can see that. I can see the attraction. Fellstalk, when will the next Japan video be up? I am in the process of editing it. I've done about 5 minutes of video so far. I hope to have it published on Patreon before I leave here. And I'm planning to leave here in the next day or so. I think maybe tomorrow. I haven't spoke about that and worked it out where I'm leaving yet. But the road is calling. I'm probably getting too comfortable. And when I get too comfy, it's always bad. But it's also good. So yeah, I will try to get it onto Patreon. And then it follows a week after it's been on Patreon onto YouTube. So next Japan video in about 2 weeks, hopefully. Circle of Fams. Hello, Simon, here from Ontario, Canada. Get on the Woods recommended you. Love what you do. Nice to have you along. Scott, eggs in the US are washed and they lose their natural barrier. Easy to get bacteria in there without the barrier. Interesting. Risk takers here eating these dodgy eggs. Scott used to work in the medical profession as well, so he does know what he's on about. Mike Wild, you don't need to refrigerate eggs until you wash them. I never wash eggs. Don't know. Yeah, so that goes with what you say there. I don't know why you'd wash an egg. Just crack it and just throw the shell away. Also, when you're in the Alaska, when are the Alaskan podcasts coming out? Need more to listen to while riding. Yeah, cool. I'm going to do that today. It doesn't take me long to edit a podcast because I leave it raw. I just haven't had time yet. So I will do that today and I'll upload some today. There's the answer to that. Nathan, my brother. Welcome, Nathan. How's it going? Is Alaska as good as The Simpsons make it out? I don't know what you mean. I'm not seeing the episodes, but Alaska is mega. It's wild. It's full of wildlife and super cool people. Carrying a lot of guns here and there as well. That's something I've noticed. It's a very, gun state, which is different as a Brit where we don't see them very often, but I was in the military and I'm fairly used to seeing weapons, so for me it's probably not as shocking, but you'll see them I was in the restroom on the Dalton Highway in the middle of nowhere, and some guy's got like a military grade Glock on his hip. It's like, cool. And then yesterday when I was in church, a lady had a pistol on her hip in a holster, which is just the way it is culturally here. And I travel the world to see different people, and different states in America will have a different culture, and weapon culture, gun culture is something that is ingrained within this area, particularly with the hunting and the different, but the people are super friendly. So it's that contrast of everyone having something that's so dangerous, and not everyone, but a lot of people, and then everyone being super friendly, and it's wild. There's my initial impressions and thoughts on Alaska after being here nearly a month. Richard Miller, so you might as well make a full trip of the USA, head east and head south, and then west to make a big old loop of the Pacific. Mate, Richard, I might, I'm not even joking, visa's my restriction. I might apply for a longer visa. I'm considering it when I get to Vancouver in Canada. It's an option. 6 months, I think, is probably what I'd get, a 6-month visa. So visas isn't a restriction. But Tour of Americas, not opposed to it. I'm so open to that idea. There's so much of the States I won't see. And if I cycle through it, I'll be like, America's done. I hate it when people say that, done. It's not done. You're still doing it and enjoying it. So maybe, mate, don't call it out. I've not intentionally said, here's my route to Argentina. Don't know my route yet. I'm so open to ideas and where to go. Lucian Dutu, Moldova's our sister country. I got told that. I've not been to Moldova, but one day. All right, James Hunter, hey up from Newcastle upon Tyne. Welcome along, buddy. Do enjoy the Geordie Nation. James Spencer, welcome, James. We've definitely met before, and you might even be a patron if it's a common name though, James Spencer. Hello, mate. Still going, I see. Haven't checked up on you for a while. Oh, nice to have you along. David Di Giovanni has also been here before. Any chance you will cycle west to east across the USA? Yes, there is a chance. Not holding it out. Not promising I will. Just there is a chance. So yeah. Cycle our world. You just answered my question. Like the sound of a longer multi-day podcast. Oh, like that. Good to know. Another patron. It's quite difficult to pronounce. I think it's in Italian. Ménéstrandise Audiolibri. Hello, Adam. Just dropping in to say hello. Catch up with this vid later. Fair winds to you, Ed. Good to know your name, Ed. Ed is a patron. Thank you so much for supporting me, buddy. And I hope you enjoy the extra stuff. I'm going to be doing a July question and answer session where people can ask me their specific questions and I will video record it, and only the patrons will get to see the answers. If you've got kids that want to ask me any questions about the wildlife and animals, let's see if you've got questions, anything you want, you become a patron. The lowest level of $4, you will get to be able to have access and be able to take part in that. Helen Arnold, hi from across the street. No way. Really? Richard Miller, if there's a dollar sign in the chat box, then it's enabled. Yeah, I can see it. Super chat. Show support for Adam cycling the world. Oh, I think people can send a super chat if you click the dollar sign. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that, mate. I'm going to have to research what these super chats are. I'm very new to this live stuff. Denise Scott, hello from Virginia. Found you on Girl in the Woods. Yeah. Adam, if you ever make it to central West Virginia, you have a place to stay. Cheers, Richard. Dude, I would love to meet you guys that are following me. Here's not the first, but maybe one of the first times I've seen someone that's found me purely through my videos. And meeting Larry and Lisa, it's almost like they've, would particularly say with Larry, who saw more of my videos, there's a level of trust already gained from having seen me and knowing there's a shared values between us. So for me, it's wonderful to have that, and for me to experience what it's like to live here. I do love that, being able to see what it's like to live somewhere as opposed to just, I'm on a mission, get through here. Robert Jacobs, nice to see you too. Oh, jumped. Crown Jewels, when will you be back in the UK? I don't know, mate. No plans to go back in the next year or two, maybe 3. I would guess down through the Americas, Argentina, boat to South Africa, up through Africa. This is like 2021 I'm talking now. Africa, then the decision from Egypt is where do I go from here? Europe or East? We will see. Hopefully, yeah. I'm in no rush to go out to the UK, it's not going anywhere. But I do miss my family and friends, so... But this is a wonderful way to keep in touch, and we talk a lot. I think I talk more to him now than I did when I had a job. Robert, like a proper job, a boring job. Robert Jacobs, got worried when you went off the grid. Yeah, didn't tell anyone I went 10 days off the grid. I'll try not to do that again. Tahir Patan, keep enjoying yourself, life's too short. Couldn't agree more. Richard Miller, I'm sure they'll be happy to approve your visa extension. Yeah, it's just money, and it's also, I don't actually have a visa. I'm on like a visa waiver in America, so I would have to apply for a visa, and I'm sure I can extend it, but just have to prove you're not gonna work illegally and stuff like that, which obviously I'm not. I'm cycling. Julie Lovegrove, go for it, Adam. We've got a 6-month US visa and we've ridden across it twice. It's a beautiful country with beautiful people. It'd be interesting to speak to you, Julie, off this means, just to what the process is like. So I'm going to be applying in Canada. Don't know if it would make it any different to applying in London. Do you have to do interviews? What's the cost? I've not researched it at all, and I should have a look into that, into the US visa if I'm going to do it for longer. Good wine in Moldova. Yes. Robert Jacobs. Andrea, that's my mother. You raised a fine chap, should be proud. And my mum said she's very proud. That is lovely. Thank you, mother. I'm going to call it an end there. I went through the little things I wanted to go through. I've shown you Larry and Lisa in the trike. And the day is calling, and I think there's some food that might be cooking. I can smell, and I've not eaten yet this morning. The day today, for me, I'm hopefully going to go and catch some fish this evening. Put a net out with Larry and Lisa's son-in-law, Gabe. Gabe is like real life Bear Grylls, coolest Alaskan I've ever met. Yeah, real life Bear Grylls. If there's anything he doesn't know about the wild and nature, it's not worth knowing. And so yeah, Gabe and we've met the last few days, and he's offered to take me out to put out a net. So hopefully that will happen today, and then I want to edit a video for the rest of the day. So that's it. I'm stuck with the computer for most of the day. I do need to do some grocery shopping, just a bit of normal life stuff after eating all my food from there. So yeah, right. I'm going to say farewell to everybody. Thank you for joining and coming along. If you are interested in supporting me and have the means to, and would like extra content, head over to my Patreon. It's the links in the description. Patreon.com/Adam Hugill. I don't realise how much it makes a difference, and if I get to a point where I'm making $300 a month, I think I can sustain myself properly there. And I think that's what I try to spend, which is still a very low budget, I feel. So yeah, and I'm trying to offer value to you guys for it, rather than saying fund my journey, because that's not how it is. I've got to offer you guys value, and if you do find value from these videos, I'd really appreciate your support if you do. But if you can't, just enjoy these videos and subscribe and share them with your mates. That's so appreciated if you could do that. Right, farewell everybody, and I'm going to try and hopefully work out how to stop streaming. Bye bye.